We live in times of broad roads and large houses, in times of quick decisions, firm standpoints, and bold, though frequently merciless moves. There are piles of diplomas, thousands of professionals, and millions of scientific reports. We live fast, see a lot, and aim high. But, strange as it may appear, our views are narrow-minded. There is less reasonableness and a lack of love, leading us to lavish spending, fast driving, poor health, more problems, and the depreciation of values and time, all on account of an irrational desire for material goods. We live in a world of abundance, yet we feel scarcity everywhere. We talk about sustainable development, but act unsustainably. We wake up tired, confused, with bitter feelings and unanswered questions. Who are we? What do we do? The questions are not merely personal. They refer to society as a whole, as they call into question the contemporary style of life and challenge our most intimate practices and thoughts. The faith in technological progress and science is buried under the ruins of nuclear tests and modern diseases. The ideals of equality, friendship, and love are blurred by ethnic conflicts, racist riots, and the arms industry. Our self-confidence is undermined through the alienation to people and other living beings and the lack of understanding of the nature that surrounds us. Apathy, confusion, and attachment to unreasonable mechanisms of exploitation that turn the wheels of productivism and consumerism mark our era and obscure the reason of our existence. A time to reflect, a moment of meditation, a deed of stepping out are no longer irrespective of the diversity of human cultures and social organizations, and irrespective of the difference between the privileged and the unprivileged. The situation that we are creating places man and society in a position of a destroyer, casts a shadow on the significance and essence of civilization, and brings about most different attempts at practical solutions and theorization. In a moment of confusion and impotence, society, culture, and man are in contrast with nature, while rational thinking, technology, and science are concealed by modern mystification, turning our eyes from the major causes of ecological and social crises of the contemporary world. The two extreme poles, a radical separation of mankind from nature on the one hand and zoologizing man on the other hand, paved the way for new social and ecological catastrophes. While the first pole raises pessimism and apathy, zoologizing of man blurs the causes of crises generated by specific socio-economic formation and denies people their special role in nature, the role of creative and thinking beings. If we truly wish to make a step towards solution, as shown in some cases of good practice, it is necessary to replace apathy with enthusiasm, interlace theory with practice in mutual respect, and broaden our perception to get a full picture, including the awareness that almost all ecological problems, with the exception of natural disasters, are closely linked with contemporary social problems, and thus redefine the development as well as sustainable development objectives. In the last 15 years, sustainable development has become a magic formula, a central theme of all significant development strategies. Although the notion has entered into daily use, it has not brought the expected results regarding the ecological and social issues. There is a great number of different interpretations of sustainability, but consensus has been reached amongst researchers in recent years that the concept of sustainable development should be viewed from the standpoint of the interaction between nature and society, that it is necessary to take grassroots approaches into consideration, i.e. local wishes, potentials and needs, and that any sustainable development concept that fails to consider the tensions between environmental, economic, and in particular social factors cannot ensure a sustainable future. The idea of convening a training seminar at Sveti Tomaž pri Ormožu arose from such motives and on the basis of thinking in this direction. Lectures, papers and workshops realized on 3 weekends in spring in the heart of Perlekia present an intermingling of scientific papers in the fields of natural and social sciences, practical workshops in the immediate environment, presentations of good practices derived from people for people, and the efforts of individuals who made crucial steps through the gesture of stepping out, meditation, creativity and deliberations, and by tiny shifts slowed down the wheels of neoliberal machinery, a product of recent history substituting the natural, all-embracing and ever-present global logic. A three-segment design of the seminar has ensued from the idea of achieving an integrated view, linking the natural environment of streams, rivers, woods and grassland with the man-made environment of houses, villages and towns, and ending with man himself, with one of the most intimate human activities, nutrition. Therefore, the things are necessary, banally and simply related. If dirty water runs in the river, dirt runs also through our bodies and minds. In the first part, the attention was paid to water pollution and treatment and the reuse of wastewater. The biologists, Sandra Klemencic and Alenka Slak, presented examples of good practice in Slovenia and the cases of clean and polluted running and standing waters with a view to identify their status and possible protection. A specialist in the field of constructed wetlands, the biologist Tomaž presented treatment plans for individual houses or settlements, explaining the phases of planning, construction and presentation of treatment processes, as well as the operative and investment costs and the need for distinguishing between black, grey and yellow waters in order to rationalize water consumption and ensure possible reuse of water. The second part was focused on the revitalization of abandoned facilities, the importance of eco-information centers for local communities, and the reflection of sustainable development and local development approaches from the point of view of social ecology. The anthropologist Tomaž1 offered some opinions on sustainability and underlined the fact that ecological problems are closely related to the specific socio-economic system and our contemporary style of life. She presented ecological initiatives from the standpoint of a local community and successful and less successful practices in Slovenia and Europe. Tanja Godnic, the head of a youth hostel in Pliskovica in Kras, informed about the implementation of a project at Pliskovica, which objective was to revitalize an abandoned farmhouse, and where today the local community can realize their wishes, generate additional income, and preserve traditional features of significance to the local community. The architect Ira Zorko presented the significance of the protection and revitalization of architectural heritage, which is of particular importance in the crises of civilization. The significance of architectural heritage reflects not only in the accumulated energy of our ancestors and the availability of accommodation, but also in the authenticity of cultural tradition, timeless wisdom of building and location. As distinct from the majority of modern constructions, older buildings contain visible and invisible qualities which are not easy to evaluate rationally. Stojan Habjanic, civil engineer, and Mateja Leskovar, construction biologist, contributed to the seminar with a presentation of the practical experiences in ecological construction, the use of natural materials and traditional construction processes, and the impacts of legislative incentive and restrictions. The presentation of two practical cases, one by the Lutra Institute about the preservation of otter and otter habitats by Mariana Honingsveld-Adamic, and the other about the eco-social farm in Goričko by Alois Kavaš, reflect the fieldwork and bear witness of different approaches to the realization of eco-information and employment centers. The third and last part of the seminar in Prlekia closes the circle and confronts human food with a natural and social environment. This part focused on sustainable ecosystems and practices, a permaculture garden by Janez Božič, the significance of wild edible plants and gathering by Dario Cortese. Both teams present a challenge to the contemporary nutrition and lifestyle and pave the way for nutrition philosophy, which does not center only on the nutrition act, but reaches much further to the immediate human living space and wider social and natural physical surroundings.